How are we looking? No, I don't. There's no place in my house that doesn't have windows. Here, I have an idea. Just adjust the camera there. Then hopefully, that looks alright. I'm on the floor, man. Okay. I'm right here. How's it going, everybody? I ordered a North Horizon Putty signature deck. I probably butchered that, but got it for 70 bucks. We're gonna open it and see how it goes. I should really get a better angle for this. I'm so stupid. There's literally a chair right there. Hold on. There, now you can see a lot more. Perfect. Ignore the light coming from over there. All right, let's open this up. Be careful with your razor blades. Okay. Ordered this from Nomads. I also ordered my Indo Tramp scooter from Nomads. Now we're gonna have a fun time opening this because there's a lot of tape that I'm seeing in here. Oh no, I can just straight lift that up. This isn't gonna be pretty, but it's gonna be functional. That's really all that we care about. Okay. Ooh, that was almost not good. One, two, and there's the front ones. Of course, there's the front ones. Okay, so this is a 6.2 by 23 long deck. And I also ordered a few other things that should be in this box as well. Open her up. Oh man, I'm rushing this. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's open it. All right. Okay, so first, this is the North Zero Offset fork. Comes in some nice packaging. There it is. Pretty cool fork, if I do say so myself. It's like 40 bucks. Shouldn't pass up on that deal. That's a really good deal. This is the North Clamp, I'm assuming. Yep, North Clamp. Pretty nice looking clamp. That was $30. Here's the grip tape that we may or may not be able to get out. We may be able to get it out. North Scatter something. I don't know, look pretty cool. There ain't no way that's 6 wide though. That looks really short, whatever. And then we have the actual deck, which looks very big. Okay, here's the deck. That's a big deck. So big it can't even fit in the screen. Holy crap. Didn't think that 6.0 to 6.2 would be that big of a jump. So here is the deck, 6.2 by 23. Yeah, I think I ordered 23. So there's the graphic on the bottom. Okay, let's get this North tape out of the way. Graphic and front graphic. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Let's put some grip tape on it. All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's 12 o'clock. I just woke up. I'm really tired, so this is gonna be more of a chill kind of review. I'm gonna go a bit more in depth. I actually have notes this time, so hopefully I won't get lost in my speech. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is the size of the deck. It is a 6.2 by 23. Yes. So I was riding before a North Willow 6 by 22.5. I'll actually grab that right now for comparison. So similar sized decks. So this is the North Willow 6 by 22.5. I really like this deck. It was a really nice deck. And here, I'm gonna do a cut right now. Terrible cut. But anyway, yes, size difference. Okay, so it is a 0.2 inch difference in the width and a ½ inch difference on the length. Originally in the unboxing, I had said that I thought that there was a really big difference, but after riding it for about a month, you don't really notice it. Like, yes, it is bigger. You can lock in the 50s a bit easier, but overall, the width-wise, for stuff like double whips flat, you don't really notice the difference. And I also believe that the extra length added to the deck definitely helps with that, because if you were to just get a 6.2 by 22.5, it would definitely be a bit more noticeable. But it just kind of proportion-wise, it makes the deck just feel like a slightly bigger version of this, which I like. It's pretty good. Okay, next up we have fully flat bottom. So the North Horizon Tootie Signature deck is a fully flat bottom deck. I'll move over so that I'm able to put a picture of the deck right there. And you can see, so for example, this North deck, if you can kind of see there, it divots here, so it's not a fully flat bottom. Whereas the North Tootie deck, it's completely flat on the bottom, which is interesting. So for this deck, you can kind of lock into board slides because you have that divot, so it kind of just locks in. Whereas the North Tootie deck and other flat bottom decks, you don't get that. In a way, you can kind of describe it as you're just kind of along for the ride, which sounds like a bad thing, but it isn't. If you actually get used to the deck and start riding it, it is quite enjoyable to ride, and it's not really that much of a deal breaker. And some people really like the advantages of flat bottom decks. I'm not sure yet. I haven't ridden it long enough, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, you shouldn't buy the deck because it's a flat bottom. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to notice that difference. As well, the other thing that I notice is whatever paint they use on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so in my town, there are a few places that have curbs that are painted yellow, and whatever the texture is of that paint, it's really slippery, so you can usually grind it without even needing any wax. And I feel like the deck is kind of like that in a way. Whatever paint they use is really slippery, which I really like. Okay, so for example, if I grab my Aztec deck, which is over here. Okay, here's the Aztec deck. It's just, I believe it's just aluminum, no paint at all, just raw aluminum. So it needs a lot of wax to slide the deck, whereas the Tootie deck is not like that. You can not even use wax on the deck and it's gonna slide. Whereas I remember, I did a review a few years ago of this deck, and I had said that you really need to wax it, and it's true, you do need to wax this. And certainly waxing the Tootie deck is gonna help, but it has that surface where it's gonna be slippery regardless. Okay, so next up we have weight. The deck is heavy, so it's definitely noticeably heavier than the North Willow deck that I was riding before. So I searched up how much these decks weigh on Google, and the North Horizon Tootie Signature deck is 4 pounds and 14 ounces, and the North Willow deck is 4 pounds and 5.3 ounces, which, okay, you say diddly squat, it doesn't really matter, but you will notice it, and I swear, feeling wise, it feels like it's a lot heavier, so that's definitely something that you will need to get used to if you choose to pick up this deck. And I am definitely not a weight weenie. Like I, as you can see, I am a bigger guy. So weight isn't usually something that I will take into account when I'm buying a part. But for this, I didn't take it into account as usual. And when I did get the deck, I had thought like, oh shoot, this is actually really heavy. But with riding it, it's not really that noticeable. Like with your parts, when you buy them, and if you consistently ride them, you're going to get used to it. And that's the thing that I say. Like if you're a smaller guy and you feel like, oh, I want to buy a 6, and you have your heart set on buying a 6, buy the 6. You're gonna adjust your riding style. You're gonna get used to the deck, right? On another note relating to size, I'm going to talk about the cruising comfort, which isn't something a lot of people think about, but it is a really big factor that is, again, not really talked about. So I live in the middle of nowhere, right? I can walk into town. It's just over 6 kilometers. So the other day I took the deck out for a ride and I rode into town for the 6 kilometers. and it was great. There's so much foot space to work with, and it just feels like a really comfortable deck. Like you can move your weight around, you can shift, and just for riding long distances, it's a great deck. So it's something that as scooter riders, you're gonna do. You're gonna ride to the skate park, you're gonna ride to street spots, you're gonna do that. And you never really think about how comfy your scooter is riding from point A to point B, because you're focused on, oh, how light is it, how wide, whatever, for doing your tricks. But it is something that you should take into account in general. I feel I have never taken that into account before until I bought this deck. And it's like, oh shoot, this is actually really comfy to just ride around. So that's just another note that I thought I'd add. And on a similar note of lengthwise, I cannot find the balance point on this deck. Now this just may be a me thing, it may be a skill issue, but I used to be really good at 5-0s. Like I'll put some 5-0 combo clips right here if I can find them. But I could like whip out a 5-0, I could do all that, but I can't seem to 5-0 on this deck. Now, I haven't really been trying it a whole lot, and I'm sure if I did put in the effort, I could probably end up learning consistent 5-0s, but just the size and the foot space wise, I just can't seem to figure it out. And sometimes, yeah, I can pull out a pretty long manual combo, but it's just probably a skill issue for me. But I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. Like if you get used to it, you'll get used to it. I have only been riding the deck for about a month now, so I'm sure that as I ride it more, I'll get more used to the weight and the length and be able to find that balance point in the deck. Okay, now we're going to talk about bang for your buck and longevity. North decks are not really known in the scooter community for being that great in terms of longevity. Okay, so when I bought this North Willow deck, I paid somewhere around $200 for it. It was a great deck. I did ride it a bit harder. Now, I am usually a lot lighter on my stuff. Like I don't purposefully throw my scooter when I land a trick or whatever, because I'm trying to maximize the life of my parts. So I think I rode this for about a year and maybe 4 months-ish. And I did hit some pretty big drops. Like I'll put a clip of me doing a whip down a huge drop there. But yeah, if you can see right here, where's the crack? It has started to crack after that time. If it's gonna focus in right there. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. But like all decks are gonna crack. It's just a matter of how long it's gonna take. And I've also I've also heard that North decks tend to banana. So banana is where you'll get your deck and it'll start to kind of shape like a banana, right? So I've heard that North decks do that. Me personally, I haven't had that problem, but yeah, I was hesitant to buy the deck at first because it's a great looking deck. I really like how it looks and the color of it and everything. But I was kind of hesitant because a lot of people were saying that the deck lasted just a few months. But in the first month, it seems to be holding up pretty well. And I was able to pick it up for $70. So that was definitely a big factor because I wouldn't pay on $200 for a deck again. Like if you're gonna go and buy a deck, try and find something on sale because $200 is a lot of money. But yeah, at $70, I figure that's a pretty safe gamble to take. Like I'm willing to spend $70, and if the deck sucks, the deck sucks. I'm only out $70. But yeah, so far it's been really good to me. So yeah. Okay, final verdict. I like the deck so far. I think it's really good. I like the size. Now, I'm at the point where I recently put a setup together with a old NV 5.1, and I'm kind of feeling like the whole wave of really big decks, it's kind of unnecessary, but that's a me thing. Like I could probably go back to consistently riding like a 5.5, 5.75 and be totally fine. But I like the deck overall. It's a nice size for what it is, and would I recommend it? Yes, if you've been riding a 6 for a while and you feel like you kind of like the 6, maybe want to go a bit bigger, go for the 6.2. Or even if you just like riding the 6, pick up the 6.2. Like again, the only really big difference that's noticeable is weight-wise. So if you're not a weight weenie, yeah, go for it. Okay, so now I'll just try and find some clips put in of me riding. And yeah, I would recommend this deck so far. If you can pick it up for $70 like I did, yeah, go for it. Really solid deck so far, and I'm enjoying riding it. So yeah, peace out. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. So yeah, that was a bit of a longer video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. I liked it. I like just sitting down and talking, and it was fun for me to edit. So I'd be down to do more stuff like this more often if you guys like it. So yeah, let me know if you like this style of video, and let me know if you pick up the deck. It's a great deck, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.